Hey guys, just a quick shop update video here at the Ramsey Custom Shop. And you see I got a lot of crap just laying around everywhere. And I still haven't fixed that gutter downspout. I need to do that before the rainy season picks back up. I thought I'd just show you around what was going on in here. First thing is plasma table is finally dialed in and running good. And the source of most of my grief had to do with that. The A60i, it just was not ready for prime time, and lots of issues with it. Had a couple of good features, but for the most part, it was a royal pain to deal with. So now I'm running, one of the nice features is it had through the tip ohmic sensing. So you didn't run a shield, and then this is the Hypertherm PowerMax 85, which does have a shield, and you have a wire that connects to the ohmic sensing. And for those of you that don't know, there's two different types of plate sensing. There's what they call the floating head, which uses limit switches, or in this case optical switches. So it's a physical contact. You know, when it plunges a limit switch, like this one right here, you see that? So when it makes contact there, it knows that it's reached the plate. So there's that style. The problem with that is that if you have a plate that's warped, like thin sheet metal, it will go down, and you know, if the plate's warped and buckled up on the end, this thing has enough pressure, it'll push the plate down against the slat and then rise up by the amount. Well, the plate comes back up with it and you lose your height distance. And when it tries to pierce, if it's touching the plate, depending on what kind of consumable you got in there, you'll get a misfire. You'll get a, it won't fire because it's in contact, and you'll get a error message on the plasma. So it's a pain in the butt. Now this, with the ohmic sensing, it doesn't use any contact. I mean, just as soon as it makes, senses voltage there, it raises up. So the plate can be, raised up or, in any position, and it'll find it and locate off of it. There's a good example right there. See how that, so if we were using the ohmic sensing, this would come down and barely touch that, sense the arc and then, or the voltage, and then rise up and pierce. But with the floating head style, it would push that all the way down, and then when it raises up the quarter, the 150 thousandths, it would still be in contact with it. So anyway, I'm back using a Hypertherm PowerMax 85, which is what I had before. That's not the same one, that's a brand new one. The other one was sold with my table. But as far as like the controller and the mechanics on the table, man, it's been really good, and some nice features. I've shown a few of them. I'll make more videos and show more of them. But we'll see what happens with that. I mean, they don't even have the cut charts available in that, and it's only 60 amps. So I don't know. Like, for example, a 60 amp consumable in that would only cut 16 gauge sheet metal at 290 inches a minute, where a 45 amp consumable in this will cut the same 16 gauge at 350 inches a minute. So, it's just a lot of things about it that were not as good. And consumable life was a big issue as well. I mean, normally I can get at least a couple of sheets out of the Hypertherm, but this one, I mean, even within one sheet, the consumable started to go away. So anyway, I just thought I'd show you guys about that. Let's see, today it's Monday, Labor Day. Hope you guys are doing good. I'm about to start on, I've already made one video on this. These guys are hollering at me about this. They want some other modifications on this one. They want to lose this extra starting set of flutes there, and they want to make it 32 inches long. So I'm just going to cut these flutes off and make a new shaft for it, and some R&D here that maybe could turn into a product or something. We'll see down the road. Greg Porter, oh man, I've been taking way too long to get these done. It's just I've just had a combination of all the stuff I've had, going on with this, and this is kind of how I keep the shop running and make money, is off metal art projects. And a lot of these little R&D, projects or things where you got to do a lot of, hand finished work with, where everything has to be like perfectly accurate. It's just, I've not found a way to do it well, and I do it, because people ask me for it. Even those augers, I mean, I've got way more time in that than I can charge for. So what you end up doing is you take the jobs like this. Is when I got finished up yesterday, and I got all these packaged and ready to ship. That's $3,000 worth of work right there, and chasing after $100, $200, $300 worth of work that takes me a couple of days to do. It's hard to justify putting it in there. And so I've got some more jobs lined up. Some guys have asked me for things, and I'm gonna hopefully getting to those here this week. But I'm doing this one today. These guys have been, this thing's been hanging around for, I don't know, maybe a couple months. That's been around for a couple months. So these are going to be my two priorities, and hopefully get those knocked out. I will say about a couple people have asked me about the laser tube cutter, and it's on its way. I just got confirmation that it's actually ready to ship, and it's one I'm importing from China. I'm actually going to start a separate YouTube channel for that. I know it seems kind of weird. I should put it here, but I'll let you guys know when I get that up and going. And that tube cutter machine is 10 meters, which I think is around 30 feet. And so this section right here, the bandsaw is going to run that way up against the table here. So it'll be in line with the table right there. So you have a lot of space to put that. And then my vertical bandsaw there is going to go over here where the table saw is. And I've got this sold. Hopefully, if Martin will come get it. If he doesn't, I got to let my backup plan get this one. That he's already asked me about it once. Did I sell it? It's a local guy. So Martin, Texas gun guy, if you want it, man, you gotta come get it. Otherwise, I have to get rid of it to make room for all these changes I'm making. So. But we got a couple weeks, so if you can get it within the next couple weeks, we'll still be good on that. And then this, I've got, I'm going to do a restoration on this, not like a, full nut and bolt restoration, but a pretty decent one. It's got a few things. Every one of these handles, none of them work. They won't latch. This spring-loaded thing won't latch. But if you look on here, it says Southco. These people are still in business, and you can get these handles. So I'm going to order the handles, and they're just chewed up, and I probably maybe could salvage them, doing some work on them. I messed with them one day. I took one of them apart, and I just can't. It's just always coming open, and this one's got a switch on it here, so it stops the machine when it comes open. This thing vibrates a little bit, so. And then the other thing I want to get working is the disc brake on the engine, or the main shaft. And so I've noticed that it's never worked, and when you hit a limit switch, or if you hit the e-stop, it should come to a quick stop. And because it doesn't come to a quick stop, it just keeps, when it sort of gets itself off track, it runs into the limit switches here and just keeps on grinding into them. You see that one's completely ground up. The one, let's see, I've already made this quickly because this one got ground up. I need to come up with something better for that. And then I think the other one on the other side is ground up as well, where the belt, because I had a lot of issues when I first got this thing. Okay, so you can see this one it's almost gone, and it used to have a piece of copper plumbing pipe on there as the sacrificial part. But so what I'm gonna, and most of them use some kind of plastic as the sacrificial roller. I'm actually gonna cut some stainless tubing. I've got a bunch of this stainless tubing, kind of stuff laying around in sections. So I'm gonna cut some of that, and because if it does get into it, it'll be harder and more, last longer. And then the other thing I want to get working is this brake, so that when you have a belt issue, tracking issue, you want to be able to have it stop, so that it doesn't continue grinding into it. So I got to looking at this, so I'm going to make a full restoration video. I'm going to give it a paint job. This will actually be, I've got that old machine, that one, the bandsaw. I've yet to do any restoration on any of them. I kind of just get them. Same thing with this one. I started on it, hadn't done any more on it. But I think this is going to be a pretty quick one that I can get done in a fairly short period of time. I'm going to fix the limit switches, the latches, and get that disc brake fixed. The belt tracking issues, they're pretty good now. For the most part, it stays on there. Occasionally, I'll have a little issue, and it has to do, it's got quite a bit of sensitivity to it. If you don't have it dialed in just right, it'll tend to want to walk on you. But for the most part, it stays running, and the little issues that I have, I know how to fix them, and I don't mind fixing them because of how productive the machine is. But you can see how much you can see where I had one belt shredding issue. The one thing I figured out is once a belt gets down to so thin, it has a real hard time keeping it on there. It has to be pretty close to the full width. If you lose a section, like see that one there is lost 3-4 inches off of it, or at least 2 or 3 inches anyway, it would not stay on there, and every time I tried to run it, it would get in there. But the reason I have all this shredding is because it doesn't stop the machine. It just continues to, and then when you lose your limit switch like this one, and it gets past it, then you're grinding into this block, which is what keeps the thing, that's how you change the belt, is pop that out. So anyway, fix the limit switches, fix the disc brake, and then I really dislike this color. I really dislike it. And there's a new paint kit that Eurochem came out with called something patina, and it's, if you want to make your hot rod, give it a patina look. So some people are going to hate me for changing the color and changing the look of this, but I don't know. This was never made by Powermatic. It was made by another company that Powermatic sold, and then that Powermatic sold this division out to Time Saver. So, there's no brand loyalty with anything anymore. And this was even in the 80s. So I'm not loyal to it. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool that it's Powermatic, woodworking stuff, but it ain't nothing to me, So anyway, so look for a video on that. I'll do one. It may be kind of a lengthy one, because I'm just going to kind of take you through the whole thing and get it cleaned up. I've got to, one of the issues I had, I'm sorry to say so much about this one, but I did run some wood through it, and on a project I had, and you're really not supposed to do that if you're going to use it with metal. You can see there's wood dust everywhere. You can see it collects everywhere. And I ran those 15 flags that I made over there. I ran all those through it. And it was in the morning, so that was good. But there was a smoldering ember where one of the sparks caught in the dust collection chute up in here. There was some wood trapped in there, and it caught it. It never lit on fire, but it was just smoking out of there. And if I tried to blow it out, all that did was, obviously you put air on it, it fanned it even more. So I got my fire extinguisher over here, and I just let it, continue to kind of smoke. And I tried to, dig it out of there. And it was just sitting here, all day. And by the end of the day, it had finally put itself out. So vacuum it out, blow it out, give the thing, a good cleaning. and fix some stuff on it. You know, like I said, the latches and the limit switches. And I may hammer this back out, but I'll probably just cut another one and and bend it over on the brake. All the stickers and decals, I'm taking all those off. This was at the University of Arkansas. This is, you know, danger stickers everywhere, which I'm guessing that they put that on there. I'm not sure. This is probably something that they put on there, an asset tag, DFJ number, you know, so get rid of all that stuff and put my own logos on it, you know, and represent. I mean, it's a big piece of signage here in the shop that, you know, people see in videos and people coming in here. You know, I can put my own brand name on there and, you know, rather than advertising for somebody else. So anyway, guys, that's kind of what's going on here. So look for the video coming out on that soon. Look for the tube laser machine coming from China. You know, it's going to be it's take about 30 days to get it over here on a boat. So it'll be still a little bit for that. But I just thought I'd give you guys a shop update and let you know what all was going on. And Greg Porter, if you're watching this, I'm definitely going to get these done and out of here in the next day or two. These will be done. So I've got them all cut and you know, each end chamfered on the inside and out. It's just a lot of, you know, a lot of detail work to that. So but they'll finally be out of here. Really hate that I've taken so long on it. I'll see you guys.